Hey guys, so I haven't been really talking much about the two guardsmen that were shot in by the White House, and I realized that one of them got killed. And now I want to know a little bit more about the shooter and what happened with him and what happened, how he got here, the whole situation. I kept hearing so many different reports about it. Let's check this out.
There is confirmation now that the subject had a relationship in Afghanistan with partner forces. This individual is in this country for one reason and one reason alone, because of the disastrous withdrawal from the Biden administration and the failure to vet.
And they need to stop blaming Biden. If they're going to keep pushing this, oh, it's Biden's fault, pointing the finger, it's Biden's fault, they need to arrest him. They need to stop talking about it. They need to arrest him. If he's responsible for all these things that are going on today that have really affected this entire country, why the hell is he not in jail? I don't care if he's 150 years old. Go grab his ass and bring him in.
The suspected D.C. shooter, Ramanullah Zakhawal, was part of a zero unit in Afghanistan, elite militias backed by the CIA. So let's take a closer look about what we know about these groups. First, these zero units that were recruited by the CIA that are operating for specific elite counterterrorism units and missions come in this southern Afghanistan area, Kandahar being some of the fiercest fighting, Helmand province, Uruzgan. This is where Lochinwall is not only born and raised, but this is where he was stationed. His unit was out of the Kandahar region. Now let's talk about Lochinwall's vetting process. He did get some vetting. We had biometric screening, CIA did, biographic checks on interagency watch lists. The CIA looked to see if he had connections to any terrorist groups, and he had in-person interviews. So there was some vetting, but let's talk about his actual unit. He was assigned to NDS-03. That's a National Directorate of Security, which is Afghanistan's CIA, if you will, intelligence service. He was working for that when he was recruited and trained by the CIA to fight against the Taliban. But these units were operating outside the chain of command of U.S. and Afghan forces. That's significant. That suggests he may have seen some significant fighting and missions, because these zero units are known for their brutality. Some called them death squads. Let's bring in now.
Now, it's crazy to hear that, especially after learning about MK Ultra, that they're questioning why this guy basically went batch crazy and shot up these two guardsmen when basically a corrupt agency like the CIA was the one that trained this individual, and they're wondering why he's went batch crazy. I mean, this is, and a lot of people out there, you know, I've realized actually believe that MK Ultra is still happening today. And in my opinion, there's no proof of that, but there's a possibility of that, especially with everything that's been going on, that's been questioned. And we were like, what, how? Well, coming up with so many type of answers, we can't think of any. And then when MK Ultra is brought up, it's like, wait a minute, well, that can be a possibility, because it's a real thing. It's a real thing. And the type of experiments they did on, you know, people back in the 60s, 70s is just mind-blowing, because a lot of these innocent people didn't even know they were being experimented on for the purposes of evil. And the CIA plays a huge part in this.
Laura Burns, head of terrorism research program on extremism at George Washington University and former FBI supervisory special agent. Laura, we're learning a lot more about Lochinwall and the fact that he's part of this zero unit, but yet we're also looking into how he makes it across the country to carry out this ambush. What are your thoughts this morning?
Good morning, and thank you for the opportunity to be here. I appreciate it. Yes, this Mr. Lochinwall's pathway from Washington to D.C., you know, it raises some interesting questions, right? Questions like, was Mr. Lockenwall already radicalized before he migrated to the United States? Did he come here with the intent to commit an act of terrorism when he found the opportunity? Or rather, did he migrate here with good intentions and for some reason become disaffected with society or fail to assimilate and then self-radicalize and then decide to mobilize with a target of opportunity? I think that as the investigation proceeds, FBI Director Kash Patel has said that they are looking at this as an act of terrorism, that facts will become available and help us determine exactly what his radicalization process was.
You know, Laura, FBI Director Kash Patel talked a little bit about Lockenwall's relationship with Afghanistan partner forces. Listen here.
There is confirmation now that the subject had a relationship in Afghanistan with partner forces. This individual is in this country for one reason and one reason alone, because of the disastrous withdrawal from the Biden administration and the failure to vet in any way, shape, or form this individual and countless others. And this administration has taken the rightful step to stop any further allowance of people with this similar background into the country.
So, Laura, clearly Lockenwall.
You know, working in the government really tests people's moral character. Kash Patel ran on so many things, talking so much crap about the FBI, the government, the secrets, how they weren't transparent with the American people, how he said, if he was, in the government, he would, expose everything, he'd be transparent with everybody. Things did 180, and I spoke about this in other videos, but I'm not going to get into it because I've said it way too many times. It's hard to trust these people now. I don't even know it's the people. I feel like it's the people pulling the strings. That's why I feel it's the people that we don't see on TV. It's the people that we don't react to. These are the hidden corruption. Corruption doesn't want to be shown, doesn't want to be seen. But it's our mission, it's our responsibility, it's our right as we the people to expose these to make sure they get rooted out of our government so we can have actual trust with these people every time they get on here and start reporting some type of news.
Wall ends up here because of his partnership with our U.S. forces, with the CIA, and it appears he did have vetting, as I just pointed out, but yet there are still links, weak links in this vetting process. Explain your sort of view of that.
Yes, I mean, the overall vetting process, if we're talking about the broader vetting process, it didn't just involve Mr. Lockenwall, because it does appear that he had some sort of vetting, was extremely complicated and chaotic. And, it really began with what I see as the intelligence community's failure to predict how quickly Kabul would fall. And because of that failure to understand what was going to ensue, there was a lack of preparation for what that evacuation process of our allies would actually look like and entail, and the challenges that they would face. And there were many challenges. We had hundreds of thousands of Afghan nationals who assisted our forces in various capacities and risked their lives. But the ability to vet individuals in that chaotic environment was extremely difficult because of the naming conventions that were in Afghanistan. Some individuals used first name only. There were lacks of date of birth. There were lacks of identification documents. And so when you're talking about thousands of people fleeing violence and flooding onto planes, we weren't prepared to vet them.
It's a great point. It's a great point, Laura. I just want to, get to this quickly, and that is now President Trump is calling for a re-scrutiny of the vetting of those who came here. It's possible Lockenwall came here with good intentions and became radicalized here in the past 4 years. So can we accomplish the process of re-vetting a lot of these individuals that were brought here? Will that work?
I think it's necessary. It's necessary for the protection of our national security, because at the end of the day, especially in those first months when we had thousands of people migrating here, the U.S. government was not prepared to properly vet. The vetting was minimal. And I think it is necessary, because although a number of individuals migrated here who sacrificed their lives for our government, there were individuals who were not properly vetted that likely have nefarious intent. here.
Yep.
And I think a rescrutinizing of the vetting process is necessary.
Stop the blame game in this country in politics. It's pissing everybody off. It's childish. We don't give a damn. Stop pointing the finger. Who's responsible? Biden. Okay, go and lock him up. If you have definitive proof to be coming on the news and saying, oh, the Biden did it, Biden and his administration, well, guess what? Everybody that worked for him, that knew about this, that signed off on this, should be in jail too. That's one thing. And number two, in regards to this guy that shot the 2 guardsmen, I mean, what if this was just a test? I mean, this is what you're thinking. If we're thinking about the CIA, we got to think smart. We got to think strategic. If they radicalized him, or if somebody else radicalized him, the CIA needs to be questioned about this, about him specifically, and what roles were played. I'm sure there's gonna be something coming down the pike soon about this when it comes to the CIA, but they need to have some sort of responsibility when it comes to this particular situation, because it costs one person's life. And I don't even know if the other guardsman is still alive. I heard he was in critical condition, but we need to put an end to this, and things need to start action. We need to start seeing action. Stop seeing people talk about it and letting them slap on the wrist, walk away. The American people are getting sick and tired of that. These are the things I've been saying about the boiling point. When you guys feed us BS information and then keep talking, the blame game, and then no action happens, the American people are going to rise. We're going to rise, and we're going to go against our own government, and that's not what I want for this country. Let me know what you guys think about that in the comments below. Like and subscribe. I'd appreciate it. Till next time, peace out, everybody. This one's for Charlie.